From undesirable to undeniable, Cody Rhodes' journey is a classic example of the saying, to succeed, first you must fail. Living in his father's shadow in his early years and being stuck in a mid-card position to becoming one of the biggest names in the industry whilst disrupting the status quo. What changed that made him become the superstar that he is today? From Stardust to the American Nightmare, Cody's rise to the top has been far from straightforward. From the lowest of lows to the highest of highs, join me as we take a look into the life and career of Cody Rhodes.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Aside from the McMahons and the Harts, the Rhodes are regarded as one of the most iconic wrestling families of all time. First, there is Dusty, who was well known for his portrayal as a relatable common man during his in-ring career, and as a booker for WCW and NXT. He's also remembered as the godfather of many talents who grace our screens every week in the current roster, such as Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns, to name a few. The oldest sibling, Dustin, is arguably one of the most underrated talents in the business and is currently having a huge amount of success in his ongoing run with AEW. Finally, there is the youngest child, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who is set to challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship at Wrestlemania. Cody Garrett Runnels was born on June 30th, 1985 in Charlotte, North Carolina. At the time, his father Dusty was at the height of his professional wrestling career after winning multiple NWA heavyweight championships. Inspired by the family business, Cody decided at a young age to pursue a career in professional wrestling. He had a successful high school wrestling career and even won some silverware along the way. Instead of collegiate wrestling, he decided to begin his career as a pro wrestler, but he wasn't coming into the wrestling world without any prior experience, because it's well known that he began learning the fundamentals with his father from as young as 12 years old, also having worked as a referee in his father's promotion during his high school years. Cody's initial training came from Al Snow and was soon picked up by WWE's developmental system OVW. In May 2006, Cody made his debut and teamed up with Shawn Spears, immediately making an impact and winning the tag team championships. He also had a brief run as heavyweight champion and finally feuded with his previous tag team partner for the television championship. His last appearance for OVW was in June 2007, and then it was time for him to join the main roster. On July 2nd, 2007, Cody made his main roster debut on Raw, appearing in a backstage segment with Randy Orton and his father Dusty. During the segment, Randy slapped Dusty as a sign of disrespect, which started a feud between Randy and a young Cody Rhodes. The feud ended with a loss, and Dusty being the recipient of a punt kick from the Legend Killer. Cody then became involved in feuds with Daivari, Charlie Haas, and Shelton Benjamin. Although Cody was not the finished product, it was easy to see he had huge potential, and this was acknowledged by upper management early on in his career, when he and Hardcore Holly defeated Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch to win the tag team championships at Raw's 15th anniversary show. After this, Ted DiBiase Jr., a second generation superstar and the son of the $1 Million Man, began feuding with Rhodes and Holly, which led to a match for the tag titles at the Night of Champions pay-per-view in June 2008. It was booked as Cody and Hardcore Holly versus Ted DiBiase and a mystery tag team partner. Ted came to the ring on his own, however. To Holly's surprise, the mystery partner was Cody Rhodes. The young upstarts came out on top and were crowned the new tag team champions, but their title reign wouldn't last long, as they would lose the belts just 1 month later to John Cena and Dave Bautista. However, this loss had no effect on their push, as the duo would soon form an alliance with Randy Orton to form the Legacy. The idea behind this faction was based on the premise that all members came from a wrestling family. By aligning himself with Randy, it was the perfect opportunity for Cody to get recognition and also to develop his craft. It was during this time that Cody had his first taste of the main event spot by entering the Royal Rumble in 2009 to help Orton win the match. He ended up in the final 3, but was eliminated by Triple H. The Legacy would then regularly be involved in 6-man tag team matches, most notably a winning effort against the team of Triple H, Shane McMahon and Batista at 2009's Backlash pay-per-view, where by stipulation Cody helped Orton win the WWE Championship. It was at this time Rhodes and DiBiase feuded with the newly reformed D-Generation X, allowing them to be placed in the spotlight as they faced off at 2009's SummerSlam and impressively coming out on top against them just 1 month later at 2009's Breaking Point. It was a feud that many superstars in their position would dream about, and it put the duo on track to elevate their careers to the next level. After their initial push, it soon came time for DiBiase and Rhodes to pursue a singles career, so it was natural that this would signal the beginning of the end for the legacy, and cracks started to form among their ranks beginning at 2010's Royal Rumble, which led to a triple threat match at Wrestlemania 26 between the three, which put a nail into the coffin for the legacy. Despite losing the match, the company showed the confidence they had in a young Cody by placing him in a storyline which culminated at the biggest show of the year. In the 2010 WWE Draft, Cody was drafted to SmackDown. Building on the momentum from his legacy run, he reinvented himself as Dashing Cody Rhodes. Now, this was a gimmick stemming from a backstage poll from the Divas who voted him as the best looking superstar on the roster. The gimmick would consist of an eccentric character who would offer grooming tips to fans via a series of vignettes, and often covering his face to prevent damage to the moneymaker during his matches. During a match in January 2011 against Rey Mysterio, Cody legitimately broke his nose after he was hit with a 619 with an exposed knee brace, but used this real-life injury to his advantage by further developing his character and wearing a see-through plastic mask. His defense to this poor choice in fashion was by explaining how he needed extensive facial reconstructive surgery and changed his name from Dashing to Undashing. His work at this time showed how far he came in terms of his mic skills, and the irony behind the changing gimmick was hilarious to see, because the transparent face mask allowed us to see his face, which for the most part seemed completely unchanged. At one point, he started handing out paper bags to members of the audience, and even to his opponents, stating their ugliness and imperfections offended him personally. Continuing his rise, he won the Intercontinental title in August 2011 by beating Ezekiel Jackson. It's important to note that the title lost its prestige over the years, and typically the belt was known as the workhorse belt in the company, with a rich history, and it's been held by legendary superstars such as Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels, to name a few. Trying to restore prestige to the belt, Cody changed its appearance to the classic 1980s look with a white strap, gathering a positive reception from old school wrestling fans. During his reign, he found himself in a high profile feud with Randy Orton once again. Cody's stock in the company increased by this time exponentially and was able to secure victory against the former legacy leader on the September 12th edition of Monday Night Raw. Eventually dropping the mask gimmick, he would hold the belt for an impressive 236 days, facing competitors like John Morrison and Booker T, before losing the belt against The Big Show at WrestleMania 27. Following this, he would align himself with Damien Sandow in September 2012, naming themselves the Rhodes Scholars, and set their sights on the Tag Team Championships. Sadly, in early 2013, after numerous attempts at trying to capture the gold, they were unsuccessful and dissolved the Rhodes Scholars, citing that they would still remain best friends. They would soon reunite, however, and start a feud with Brodus Clay and Tensai, leading to a match that was cut from WrestleMania 29 due to time constraints and reduced to Raw the following night. Later that year, the Rhodes Scholars would develop a feud when Sandow cost Cody the Money in the Bank briefcase in order to win it for himself, leading to the first babyface turn Cody had had since 2008. In all honesty, this was a pretty lackluster feud, with the main highlight being when Cody threw the briefcase into the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, it seemed as though Cody's progress was stalling, forever stuck in an upper mid-card role. While his work was solid, he couldn't elevate himself to the main event. Eventually, in September 2013, Cody was kayfabe fired from the company due to a stipulation set by Triple H when he failed to defeat Randy Orton. The firing angle was done to allow Cody time to get married and go on his honeymoon with his partner Brandy, a backstage interviewer for the company after being in a relationship for some time. While Cody enjoyed his time as a newlywed in Maui, back home in the WWE, Cody's older brother Dustin and his father were fighting his case to get him reinstated into the company. This all came to a head when Dusty was punched by Big Show under the instruction of the Authority. In response, the Rhodes brothers gate-crashed Raw the following week, attacking the Authority's mercenaries, The Shield, leading to a match at 2013's Battleground show, when the Rhodes brothers successfully beat Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, winning their jobs back in the process. The images after the match showed the Rhodes family embracing, gathering a positive response across the wrestling world. The brothers would soon challenge the Shield members again, coming out on top and winning the tag team championships in a reign which lasted until 2014's Royal Rumble. Cody's response to the loss caused him to doubt his abilities and detached himself from his brother, stating he needed time to find himself. This was the facilitator of his demise within the company, as he reinvented himself as Stardust, a spin-off of his brother's Goldust character and a nod to his father's former ring name in AWA. The brothers would reunite in the summer of 2014, starting a run which would earn them the tag team championships for a second time after beating the Usos. In February 2015, after losing the tag team championships the previous year at Survivor Series, Cody would turn heel and attack his brother, leading to a feud between the two. The brothers had a range of ideas for this feud, aiming for a conclusive match at WrestleMania. However, the powers that be at the time cut these plans short and decided to resolve the feud a month prior to WrestleMania, as they felt the feud did not deserve a spot on the biggest show of the year. This would only add to Cody's frustration with the company. He felt he was stuck in an upper mid-card role and wanted to elevate himself to the main card, but this didn't seem a possibility at the time. Following the death of his father in June 2015, he wanted to rebrand himself as a babyface and capitalize on the sympathy that he had garnered from the fanbase. Instead, WWE decided to redevelop the Stardust gimmick to resemble a comic book villain of sorts, but this would do nothing to his character, and he was placed further down the pecking order, losing to the likes of Apollo Crews and Zack Ryder in what proved to be the final nail in the coffin in his first tenure with WWE, as he was released from the company along with his wife Brandy in May 2016. He explained how creative frustrations led to his decision to request his release from the company, stating that he had pleaded with them to abandon the Stardust gimmick for 6 months but was ignored. It was a huge decision to make, but he knew he could be more and was determined to prove it on his own. Following his release from the WWE, he would be involved in the Indies and gave birth to the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, a play on his father's American Dream nickname. He proved during that time that there was no substitute for hard work and began filling his schedule with dates in wrestling promotions like Evolve, TNA, and he even participated in the PWG Battle for Los Angeles tournament. However, most of his time in the Indies was spent in Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was at New Japan where he met and immediately hit it off with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, leading to him joining the infamous Bullet Club, and more specifically their inner circle, the Elite. As time went on, the Elite started to become well known, thanks to their YouTube docuseries Being the Elite, in which Cody was a regular feature. Shifting focus to his in-ring work, Cody's stock had risen, earning him a shot at Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. He would be unsuccessful in this attempt, but would build on his successful run in the company when he would attack Kenny Omega with the help of Hangman Adam Page after fractures began to form within the Bullet Club, leading to an all-out civil war in the faction. After a brief feud with Kenny, the pair would find themselves realigned after Cody's unsuccessful title challenge of Kenny's IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Following the match, Kenny was ambushed by the Firing Squad, a branch of the already fractured Bullet Club. The duo would reunite when Cody failed to aid the attackers, symbolizing Cody's return to the Elite. Cody would then defeat Robinson to attain the IWGP United States Championship, his first championship in the company. Cody's impact on the wrestling world would be cemented in 2018 following the formation of the All In pay-per-view, thanks to Dave Meltzer, stating in an interview in 2017 that an independent wrestling promotion would not be able to sell out a 10,000 seat arena in the US. Cody and the Young Bucks teamed up in this venture, with tickets selling out within 30 minutes of release. It was felt among the elite that there was room for alternative to the WWE, considering their years of dominance in the US market. The formation of this breakaway show symbolized a landmark change in the US wrestling scene, spearheaded by none other than Cody Rhodes. Continuing his unbelievable run in the Indies, on September 1st, 2018, Cody would become the first ever second-generation wrestler to win the NWA Heavyweight Championship, following in the footsteps of his father. It was on this night that Tony Khan, owner of Fulham Football Club and the Jacksonville Jaguars, was in attendance. Khan is a known wrestling fan and was inspired by Cody's performance that night, leading him to realize that there is a market for alternative to the WWE. With financial backing, Cody and the Elite joined forces with Tony Khan to officially announce the formation of All Elite Wrestling on January 1st, 2019. At the official press conference, it was revealed that Cody, along with the Elite, would act as executive vice presidents for the promotion, as well as on-screen talent. Also, they announced that Chris Jericho, a lifelong WWE guy, would join the promotion in a statement of intent that AEW was coming and that they were coming in a big way. The promotion would have their first show, Double or Nothing, in May 25th, 2019, where Cody had a match that he had dreamed about all those years ago in the WWE against his brother Dustin in one of the most iconic matches in recent memory. During his entrance, Cody would take a sledgehammer and smash a throne placed at the top of a ramp, which is a clear shot at Triple H and the WWE. It was almost as if Cody was symbolizing that he was in charge as an executive vice president, but he wasn't going to take it for granted. He was going to give the younger stars a chance, and he was destroying the image that Triple H had built all these years. Although he was married to the boss's daughter, he would still get his way, and he would have the gold shovel, as people would like to say, and bury talent. But Cody wasn't here to do that. His intent from the beginning was to help the younger stars in the company. The match with his brother would earn a 5-star match rating in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter, further adding to the reputation Rhodes had developed over the years. Early on in AEW, Cody stood by his intentions to ensure upcoming talents got the push they deserved. He wrestled Darby Allin, kickstarting his career as one of AEW's main homegrown talents. He also reignited his OVW feud with Shawn Spears at All Out. Continuing his work with younger talent, he became on-screen best friends with MJF, one of the company's biggest breakout stars. But this friendship proved costly, as MJF would cost Cody the AEW Heavyweight Championship against Chris Jericho. But what made it worse for Cody was the added stipulation to the match, that if he had lost, he would not be able to challenge for the title again. Some say this stipulation was added because Cody wanted to prove he wasn't using his position in the company to his advantage. He would then go on to feud with MJF, which included one of the most memorable and emotional segments in the company's history, with MJF agreeing to the match if Cody agreed to receive 10 lashes to the back with a belt. The crowd was silent, and Cody took the punishment, with each blow being felt through the audience. Sadly, Cody wasn't able to get his revenge and lost the match, showing once again he was there to put younger talent over. Continuing this mission, he was crowned the first ever TNT champion at May 23rd's Double or Nothing. His reign as champion consisted of him issuing open challenges in John Cena-like fashion to any wrestler willing to take him on. At this time, he worked with talents like Eddie Kingston and Jungle Boy, to name a few. These matches gave a breath of fresh air to the company, and also they led to some wrestlers receiving contracts from All Elite Wrestling. His reign as TNT champion would come to an end against Brody Lee in a squash match which lasted around 3 minutes, before taking a leave of absence to film a TV series. His return to the company came just 1 month later when he regained the title from Brody Lee. The choice to give him the belt was poorly received from fans, as they felt Brody was just a placeholder whilst Cody was away. Over time, his image would take a hit with the audience, becoming frustrated with his John Cena-like character failing to turn heel. His over-the-top segments and his excessive pyro also added to the fans' frustration at the time and damaged his image even further. He would go on to face Malachi Black, and and the fans would again be frustrated at Cody's lack of ability to turn heel. In the match, Malachi Black was being cheered by the audience despite being the heel. Cody would then lose the match in a similar way to his Brody Lee squash match, but then after that came his final match in AEW, so this would be against Sammy Guevara, where he would lose the TNT Championship. His time in AEW was coming to an end in a promo which sort of signaled the beginning of the end for Cody in AEW. He stated that Tony Khan sent him a contract in the mail, which is not what he wanted. It became known that his deal with the company was coming to an end, and after failing to come to an agreement, the wrestling world was surprised when AEW and Cody Rhodes announced their parting of ways via Twitter on February 15th, 2022. Some people dismissed this as a work, but we would soon be surprised with Cody's plans as speculation grew around the future of his career, most notably on the 18th of March 2022 when multiple reports came out stating he had re-signed with the WWE. Leading up to his return, fans were surprised, left wondering when he would make an appearance. That opportunity presented itself when Seth Rollins was looking for an opponent for WrestleMania 38. It was made official that on the first night of WrestleMania, Seth would face a mystery opponent of Vince McMahon's choosing on April 2nd, 2022, Dallas, Texas, night 1 of WrestleMania 38. With the anticipation building, we were presented with the iconic line,
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, ascended from the ramp with his song Kingdom echoing across the arena. He emerged with the fans in attendance erupting for the Prodigal Son's return. The match with Seth became an instant classic, putting on a 21-minute spectacle with no prior rehearsals. Cody hit his signature crossroads and came out victorious on his return. He explained the reason for his return, stating he returned to realize his father's dream of becoming the WWE champion, stating he cannot bestow the championship to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, but he can certainly put it around the waist of the American Nightmare. This is a foreshadowing of things to come. But before we get to that, Cody was involved in a feud with Seth Rollins, which included a rematch at WrestleMania Backlash, which again ended with Cody as the victor before the conclusion of the feud at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Ahead of the match, Cody would suffer a legitimate pectoral muscle tear during a weightlifting session, but despite this, he entered the ring under the advice that he could cause no further damage. The scene of him taking off his coat sends shivers down your spine as he reveals his discoloured skin. Despite the injury, he would deliver a clinic with Seth Rollins in a match which is uncomfortable to see, with Cody stating he would never watch the match back as he doesn't look back at it fondly. Regardless of his thoughts, Dave Meltzer gave the match a 5-star rating, which was a first for WWE since 2011's classic against CM Punk and John Cena at Money in the Bank. After 7 months away from the company, in January 2023, a series of vignettes would air on WWE programming documenting Cody's road to recovery, which concluded with the announcement of Cody's return to the company at the Royal Rumble. At the pay-per-view, he would enter at number 30 and battled Gunther for a considerable amount of time until eliminating him and being declared the winner of the Royal Rumble. This win emphasized how far he has come from being an upper mid-carder to betting on himself, creating his name outside of his comfort zone to return as a hero. From undesirable to undeniable, the American Dream is now closer than ever before, as Cody has punched his ticket to WrestleMania to face Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, and I can't wait to see what's in store. Thank you for watching this video, and if you stuck around until the end, why don't you hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more wrestling content right here on Wrestling Real.